Parsha haShavua. Again, there's so much to talk about. We'll get through what we can, and what we can't, then it'll be another time, B'ezrat Hashem. So I was just very simply, on a very simple, I love to look very simply because you would be surprised how the most, I think, profound things are found in the simplicity of life, right? So we have just the very first opening sentence of this Parsha. Wait, let's do a little bit of a backdrop. What just happened in last week's Parsha? And we know this was chronological. Like, we know this. Why? Is because of we know from the Mefarshim. So we know it's chronological. And what we happened just now past was that what? We had the Ekedat Yitzchak. And then all of a sudden now we have this, it's like same time zone. We're not going, a couple years later or a couple years, it's the same time zone. And what does it say? It says, Vayihu Chai Sarah. Okay, we have the very famous, the life of Sarah, right, was Me'er Shana, Esrim Shana, V'Sheva Shanim. And then Shanei Chai Sarah. So a double, like you already said it, Chai Sarah. Why are we saying again Chai Sarah? This is going to be our first question. And of course, Rashi is going to talk about his first question, I think, basically is what's with this 100 and then 20 and then 7, right? Which will go into this. And then we find out that she died. So before we find out she died, we're finding about her life. And what was her life? So what does Rashi bring in? He says, Kol shiviyun letova. They were all good. Okay, so you know what? If I was born at Tzaddik, at the age, like if every person was born at Tzaddik, they say Moshe when he was like Tov, but if everyone was born Tov, like purely Tzaddik, so then I could maybe go into this whole thing about how she had all that clarity the whole time to say Gamzu the Tova, this is good for me. But she was about Tshuva. So, and I according to my understanding, she got married like at 15, which was normal. Okay, gets married at 15. She doesn't have a kid until she's 90, right? And she was like twice basically kidnapped. And I mean, I think personally what's more traumatic, I think would be putting my husband putting me in a box. Even than being kidnapped, I think putting me in a box, and telling me, I don't know, I wouldn't go with that. So right? And I was thinking to myself, there's no way that the Sarah who before she knew Hashem at 7 was the same Sarah at 20 or at 100 when she knew Hashem in a different way. So then number one, how are they all good? That's my number one question I have that we're going to go through. And then she's buried in this place called Hebron, right? So this is going to be a very important factor we have these 4 beautiful holy cities in Eretz Israel. We have Yerushalayim, which is Eish, it's fire. We all feel it who lives here. The intensity of Yerushalayim, the passion of Yerushalayim, also the korbanot, Yerushalayim is fire. We have Tiberes, which is the water, the Kinneret. It's that stream of Torah, all the Chachamim that are there. We have Tzfat, the mystics, Kabbalah, the city of air, Machsheva, the idea, and believe it or not, Shulchan Aruch is very halakha. You can't get more Kabbalistic than halakha. I always tell my students, following the halakha, you will be very mikubah, right? It's very, right? And then we have the city of Hebron, which is the city of earth, right? And what's earth is okay, that makes sense. Mama Earth, Mother Earth. It's where all our patriarchs and our matriarchs are there. But why is it Adama? Why is it earth? So we have Chai Sarah. She had maybe 2 lives. I'm thinking, maybe. I have many of them. So she had 2 lives. They were all good. We're going to get to how is that possible. Then she's buried in this place called Hebron, which is where all the Avot and Imachot are buried, right? Then we're going to get an encounter that after this whole encounter, and in parentheses, Avram Avinu is totally out of character in his encounter with trying to buy land, the burial place of Sarah. He's very out of character. He's soft, come into my home, let me give you some cookies. And all of a sudden he's like, I'm making a business deal right now. This is how much money I'm paying for it. And it's very uncharacteristic. It's even more uncharacteristic of Avram than Kedat Yitzchak, actually. It's a little bit sharp. And then we have a whole encounter with okay, now that my wife has died, I need to make sure the continuation of the Jewish people is really going on. And let's find a shidduch for Yitzchak. And I don't know why always I get the song of matchmaker making me match. And this part of this Parsha, I'm always match. Okay, so Eliezer is, which mind you, he's not mentioned as Eliezer, and the name itself is such a strong, gorgeous name. Eliezer, Hashem is my helper, right? And we always say Hashem helped me. Hashem is my helper. This is Eliezer, but yet he's just the Eved, which is very important for us to understand in this Parsha. He's a person who literally is being told he's cursed, right? And then we're going to find out that he's actually blessed. And then we have our end, if we get to Bezat Hashem, when Rivka actually comes in and asks as Jewish woman, what does this mean, the idea of the ohel, of the tent and the home, and these 3 mitzvot that are tied into the woman. So, okay, so let's see how much we can get through. So first of all, I'm like thinking to myself, okay, again, Chai Sarah. There's a lot of things also, it's brought down by the Zohar that really Sarah is representative of the body and Avram is the neshama, right? And actually our first marriage is not really between you and your spouse, it's between you, your soul and your body. That's really what's b'sheret. Meaning it wasn't random that I came into the body and the life that I came into. It was completely and totally destiny. And what I make of it and what happens in my life maybe would be determined on my merits, which is my second marriage. But the actual first marriage of my life is understanding that my body and my soul are b'sheret, intertwined. I wasn't by mistake the way I look or the character, or I wish I was a little bit like this. I wish I wasn't so like this. No, this is exactly what my neshama needs and why I'm supposed to be here. And I forgot, I wanted to go back. Actually, there's another thing. After we're introduced with the idea of marrying off, that he has to go marry of Yitzchak, it says that Avram is old. Okay, this word zaken, right? Moshe Shapiro talks about a lot. Va'avram zaken ba bayamin. He's old in his days. Vashem belech et Avram bakol. And Avram is blessed bakol, with everything, right? After he just lost his wife, mind you. And he doesn't really have everything, right? But he's blessed with everything, and he's old. But what does this old mean? Okay, so let's go back to Sarah. The Baal Shem Tov brings something, not in relation to this, but he brings it into something that I want to tie into this, or maybe it is tied into it, is that when Rashi says that all the years of her life were equal in good, he uses the word as in they were. Do you know, have you ever also there's an expression like this shaveli is a lo shaveli, like this is worth it for me, it's not worth it for me. When we talk about these shvot, we're talking about that they were equal, right? Now, what is this word shavu? And also like shavui mishkal, it's like you're balancing, you're balanced, you're good. So what is this word? What does this make us think of, right? Shiviti. This is our first in every single day. We're supposed to wake up in the morning, right? And we're supposed to say according to the Shulchan Aruch, right? Orach Chaim. And the Ramah brings in what? Orach Chaim, Shiviti, Hashem, the Negdid, Tamid, David HaMelech. Now, and Zeh Kla Gadol b'Torah. This is not like a small thing. This is like a huge thing about Torah. So I always interpreted this in my yom, my daily life, is that like Hashem, I have to have you in front of me in order to check myself. Meaning, would I really talk to my kids that way if I really had Hashem in front of me? Would I really pass the person on the street that way without smiling to them if I really didn't think that Hashem was not in front of me? I'm talking about I'm like yom, my daily life is like, do I really have you Hashem in front of me? Would I really dress that way, talk that way, eat that way? I don't know. If even that way I eat might be a little bit different in refinement if I knew that really Hashem is in front of me. But then all of a sudden, you guys, what's this lishvot? What does this balance mean? Okay, this is it's a very beautiful that the Baal Shem Tov brings into. What's the word? Shiviti Hashem. What's the name of Hashem? Yud Kei Vav Kei is the word of rachamim. Okay, mercy, compassion. Do I realize that every single time that I am facing myself an encounter where it's really hard for me, it feels like deen, it feels like judgment, it feels like punishment, I'm supposed to put that name of Hashem in front of me. So when I'm being kidnapped by Paro, and I'm being put in a box, and I'm having infertility, and my son, is, all these things that are happening to me, in this moment where I feel like Hashem is throwing me away and hates me, I'm being asked to put the name of Hashem actually in front of me. That it's not for nothing that this is happening. This is actually coming from the source of rachamim. It gives me so much koach to think that way, because I think actually a lot of times what gets me more down is just feeling that, well, and also we're all the time saying, well, you don't think something's going to happen because also you feel like zaloma, which is true. It's true. It doesn't, you're not supposed to get everything that you want, whatever you wanted, right? But we're supposed to go, Amuna is going above that. It's got nothing to do with what you deserve or don't deserve in life. Hashem is compassionate and loves you. He adores you, right? And I think what I'm thinking was with the Sarah is that Sarah was able to fuse in her body and her soul. She had these like two lives for herself, which is also the life between the marriage between every person and the couple, is that I have this physical pull in me and I have the spiritual pull in me. And can I try to always be balancing them, but in what way? In front of Hashem. In front of Hashem, yes, like maybe a little bit judging, and like he's there and he's checking me. But in front of Hashem is compassionate and kind and who loves me. Right? Can I put that in all the aspects and areas of my life? And I'm like, well, how do I get to this? This is my question. Because I know also I can go, I can tell you a story that happened this past week. I mean, meaning like it happened Shabbos and then Sunday. So I have to tell you, my oldest children, I had an exceptionally abnormal, like the way that they give me kibbud evim is not normal. No, really, they go beyond. So when then like a couple kids down the line, what if I have a teenager who's a bit chutzpahdik? I'm so shocked by it. I can't even explain why I'm thrown off the loop by a behavior. And I had a behavior like this on Shabbos, and I'm very like self-regulated. I'm very calm. I'm like understanding it's not about me. It's about Hashem. I'm really there. And I was fuming inside. I can't even explain how much inside though. I was not balanced. I was so upset about it. And the next morning, like I didn't say anything, the next morning, private, not in front of anybody, calmly telling the child about kibbud evim. And I'm like, it's got nothing to do with good mom, bad mom. It's just it's a reality. And you also have the best mom in the world, but that's just put it aside. And I'm fuming. And then what did I do? What happened? I decided instead of taking the bus, I walked to where I needed to go, which is like a good this is like, for me, walking is, I'm telling you, beats any therapy, in my opinion. I'm walking, and then a friend did say something to me, and she said one word to me. Do you know what the one word was? Teenager. All of a sudden, I walked for 35 minutes, teenager. And I was like, perspective, Elana, compassionate. Put Hashem, the compassion Hashem also in front of the situation. We're like, this is not about chutzpah. It's not about the person. He's a good kid. He's beautiful. He's a teenager. It's in every stage of life when you see, why is Avram so out of character right now in this instance when he's trying to buy the burial place for his wife? He's pure chesed. Also, Sarah was pure chesed. For her to say, get Yishmael out of my house, for Avram to do Akedat Yitzchak, for him to be, I'm buying this land, I'm paying 400 shekels for it. It means because it's appropriate for the time of what they're doing. So sometimes also when I'm really, really, really tired, I just need to lie down. It's appropriate for what I'm doing. Do you get it? Shaviti Hashem. I'm putting Hashem, this name of compassion, in front of myself and also in front of the people that I love and I care. If they're good people that one day have a bad day and are moody, or are teenagers, or are tantering toddlers, or are 40-year-old or 80-year-olds, I don't know what. We're all normal when it's in the normal. Now, on the opposite, if I had a person who all the time was tricking me, 22 years I'm living with them and they're cheating me, the one time that they're like, oh, my children, I'm not going to believe that. Because that's not shivayon either. The person is constantly abused by somebody, and all of a sudden they're like, but he was so nice to me one time. He told me he's going to be better. Well, hello. We have to kind of look at the overall, but you're married to a good person. So he's tired. So he doesn't want to, or so he snapped at you, or you yourself are a good person. So calm down. Rahmanas on yourself and Rahmanas on those. And how do we do this? We're putting Hashem in the picture the whole entire time. Like I can't explain to you that really, I was listening to this talk about anxiety, tools for anxiety. I know we have a lot of them and it's wonderful. And I'm for all of it. I'm the one who just said, now go for a half an hour walk. Like I'm all for it. I'm for exercise and for eating properly. I'm for any kind of therapy that you think will help you. I'm for any kind of exercise that there is in the world. But what I was so upset was I was listening to a whole thing. I'm like, where's Hashem? Because you can do everything and every tool you want. The only cure to anxiety and stress and worry is HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That I'm putting him and I'm realizing he's good and compassionate. I'm worried about something, but I don't even know. Yesterday I was taking I took my second grader to school, right? And so Moishi, my little Moishi's with us, like, right. So you know how Har Nof is full of stairs. Everywhere we are, there's stairs. So we're going down these stairs And I left Agala on the top of the stairs. We go down the stairs. And of course, what happens? And now I have to go back up with Moshe. He's 3.5. He's heavy already. Okay. I'm like, he's at the bottom of the stairs like this. Stands there. I'm not going. So I'm like, I'm hurrying, right? Also, because I have to get to work. I'm not going. I'm not going up the stairs. And what happens? I pick Moshe up. I'm like, I don't even know where I get the koach of this from anymore. Like to pick up this 3.5. He's big already. He's a big boy. I'm tired. I'll pick him up and I carry him. He throws his arms around me. It's the cutest hug in the world. It's delicious. And I'm thinking to myself, he's not worried how he's getting up there. He's not worried how I'm going to get the koach to carry him. He just knows I'm not moving. Pick me up, and you're getting me up the stairs. Do you know what it's like living with the Kadosh Baruch Hu? Hashem, you're Rachmanis, you're compassionate. You're not going to start fighting with me at the bottom of the stairs, and you have to walk. You're just going to pick me up. Do you know? It's going to happen. How is mommy going to carry already? I don't know how much he weighs. I don't know, but I did it. Now, all the more so, Ribbon Shalom, he can't carry you. He can't pick you up. Just stand there stubbornly. Ribbon Shalom, you're in front of me, and you're compassionate. I'm putting the Yud Kei Vav Kei name in front of you. That means also when I look back at my life, I can tell you, when I think my big, I'm not talking about like the daily ones, which are also difficult, but these big things that shock you just because of maybe hormones even, like you just had a kid. It's a very big simcha. It can cause turmoil, right? My father passes away. That causes turmoil, even not because of anything. I'm not trying to be dramatic. I'm just saying we all have these things in our life and that make you think. That's what I want to say. And then you start to think, go back 20 years, you go back 30 years, you just had a baby, you become a baby. You're like, what? You have these huge things to have, or you hear about something. All of a sudden, in the moment, I'm telling you, Sarah at 7 years old was not seeing Hashem like she saw him at 100. But when you get to that age, when she passes away, after she had one life and she has the next life, and then she dies, I'm telling you, if you're constantly working on yourself every single day, then even in that, after you sit Shiva and you're looking back, all of a sudden you're like, Ribbon Shalom, you're with me. You were with me then also. And you're starting to understand something, which is you're chesed, you're good, you're kind. So that means that every single thing that I went through and had to go through was to make me who I am today. And then it's good. Really, the hard that you might have gone through is actually good. When you go back and you put Hashem back in the picture. Do you understand? Not always can we put him in the present in the picture, but with learning Torah and with constantly working ourselves, we can actually go back and say, I understand, Ribbon Shalom, I understand. So let's look at also, what is this that, okay, Sarah, okay, equal. We got to constantly be balancing, also balancing the body and the soul. I'm telling you, not extremes. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to be listening to your body, and also you have to listen to your neshama. It's almost like the volleyball. No, this is like the mashal. Like one passes here, and you have the conversations, right? Also, can I know that this person is being age appropriate or life appropriate or situation appropriate? And can I calm down and have rachmanis for them, for me? Right? This is very, very, I'm telling you, it's like a key to shalom bayis. You'd be surprised how much this has saved me. Just that 35 minutes of saying to myself, teenager. And then guess, he packed the bag, he left us with a suitcase. Who was there like when I got back from at 12 o'clock? Who needed food or something, whatever he needed. He really, he didn't run away. Believe me, my authority, my being, and I was happy that I was actually very happy that I stood my ground and I was like calmly telling them, but I realized my internal, what brought him home subconsciously 3 hours later was, I think that 35-minute walk that I was bringing that energy out into the world saying he's just a teenager. I am telling you, he came home a couple hours later, he did whatever, for that, whatever, right? And he never brought it up again. And then the next day, actually, when he did the same thing, I right away stopped him, and he stopped. Like he got the message, even though it had to be repeated. Do you understand? It's how we're internalizing these things, right? So she's buried in the city of Hebron. What's with the avot imahot? What's with earth? It's chibur. It's the connection. They taught us how to connect the body and the soul. They taught us how to connect everything, not just the body and soul. How can I connect the situation to HaKadosh Baruch Hu? How can I connect all these like crazy things that are happening to my life? Even the poverty, the famine, and the wealth. How do I connect all this? How do I elevate it? I have to make this connection. I actually have to make this connection that my death is actually connected to life. It's crazy. It's a crazy idea that everything that I'm doing can be connected. Shemayim ba'aretz. Right? So, of course, our 8 patriarchs and matriarchs are buried in the city of Hebron. They helped us to learn. We have this genetic makeup of how you connect your life. How do you not be anxious? You're connecting the situation to a Kadosh Baruch Hu. That still doesn't mean, of course, you still do your tools. You need them. You need them to help you to get there sometimes also with that connection, right? So we're in the city of Hebron, and then again, and this eulogy, and Avram is very firm because this is appropriate for him to be firm. He's dealing with crooks. I want 400 shekels. I'm paying for this full price. Give me a receipt. This is not by chesed here, right? And then Va'avraham zaken ba bayamim. Okay, so Rav Moshe Boyer, they're both Moshe. Rav Moshe Boyer brings what? What is zaken? Zaken is usually you say someone's old, but don't mistake that a lot of times you are very young and you look old. Like I've actually encountered people who are like half my age, and I think I actually look much younger than them. Why? They're so worried. They're so stressed out. Or they're so taking life not seriously, actually. On the other hand, also that they're just too much partying, actually, too much, frivolous, that like, it's like they look old. They're unhappy. The Torah comes and tells us, don't think that with all the tests that Avram had, he wasn't zaken because he was worried. He wasn't zaken because of stress. He was zaken. Why? Because he had a long life. Bayim bayamim. It was a long time. And what was he during this? Rabbi Moshe Shapira brings in, what's this word zaken? He's bringing in, is it really talking about this, not talking about this? But I just want to bring it. Zaken, zeh kana. What have you bought in your life? Zeh, this, kana, liknot, to buy. What have you acquired? What is he acquiring, right? What is he acquiring? This is like, I think this is I don't know. But what is he acquiring? He's acquiring Barech et Avram B'Kol. He acquired the Kol. So Ramesh Shapira brings in from the Gemara that all three of the Avot are in reference to Kol, everything. Yitzchak was also, and also we know the famous encounter between Esav and Yaakov when Esav says, I have a lot, and Yaakov says, I have everything. What's this concept of Kol, of everything? I think that the thing that Avram was able to acquire the most was that Hashem, you are HaKol. And every time that the only blessing comes from in my life when I can connect that you are everything. And that everything is you are behind everything, you are everything. This is the Kol. And it makes me think, this morning I was davening, and also we say it in the tefillah, I didn't bring my siddur, but we say two things that like always speak out to me. I'm always like, whoa, how can every morning I say Birkat HaShachar that I really have everything I need? It's very, okay, I do, the Peel Pull, I've taught it, everything your neshama needs. So therefore, if you don't have food, I guess, you don't have money to buy something, it's because your neshama doesn't need it right this second. It still is a hard thing to swallow. The only thing that helps me to swallow it is, what does it mean that I have everything I need? All I need is you, Ibn Shalom. That's all I need. I just need you. If we really understand that all we need is Hashem, all we need is connection to Hashem. We think we need that person to fulfill our needs, our love. We think that we need this thing to fulfill our needs, our love, our happiness, our simcha. Really, Hashem, my need is you. Can you realize your neshama, your longing, you need Hashem. And even when we think we don't need him, we're fine without him, in our lives. We're just like, can you just have maintain the rent? I don't need you, Hashem. I need the Baladira not to raise my rent, right? No, you need Hashem. That's all you need is Hashem. Hashem can pay you rent for you at any price, believe it or not, right? Even with inflation, right? It's like, all we're trying to get here is, what are we trying to achieve? It's a process of life that even when these moments when it's very difficult for me, if I keep running with this, you guys, keep walking with this, is Hashem, you are everything. You can give me everything. And Hashem, I want to place that Rahmanis in front of me always in any situation that I'm living my life with. It is good. This is the good that we have. This is good. That's the definition of good. Hashem is good, right? What's good to me, David Melch says, is Hashem, right? So then another way of acquiring this is like going to be a little bit hard, but hard for me. I want to talk a little bit about who we're taught is Eliezer. So again, I mentioned Eliezer has no name in this Parsha. He's just Eved, right? And Avram says to him, I want you to swear to me that you're going to go get a wife for my son. And from who? From the Benot of Kenani, right? That's like, I want you to go back there. The place where I was born, you're going to take a wife for my son Yitzchak. And then we have the very famous Eliezer, the Eved, we don't know, says Ulai, right? And there's a whole Mefashim bring that he's like, okay, but I have a really great daughter right now, like I have a great daughter. And the Midrash says that Avram says to him, it seems so mean. Also, uncharacteristic Avram, he's so nice. You would never say this to your employee, your best employee in the world. Excuse me, you're cursed. You are cursed. Forget about it. There's no way you're marrying my son. I mean, your daughter is marrying my son, right? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? If I lost you, please stop. Okay. So Ulai, she's not going to come. No, don't think Ulai, she's not coming. She's not. You can't marry into my family. You're cursed. This is your label. You're cursed. Okay. And then what does Eliezer do? He's like godless, really. He's like, okay, I'm going to do what you tell me to do. I can't imagine nowadays, like I would break in my self-esteem. Someone tells me that I'm horrible. Forget that. I wouldn't be able to maintain the job. I'd be crying. I'd come home crying, telling my husband, like, forget about it, I'm leaving the job, right? No. And then, again, Avram's like, do not take anyone from here. Like really, he's making this. And then he says, Hashem is going to, he's giving him brachas, he's going to help him, right? And then, he's also absolving him that if she won't come back, then it's okay. I absolve you this. And then Eliezer swears to this. Okay, then listen to this. He takes 10 camels, right? He takes all these things from his master. He takes the camels, I'm sorry. Vayilech. He goes. And then it says, V'kol tuv Adonai beyado. And all the good in the hands of his master. Vayikam vayilech. I'm going to break this down. Okay. Let's say someone asked me to go to the supermarket. So they give me money. Then it says, okay, I went. And then it says, I got the coupons. I don't even know if there's coupons anymore in this world, but there used to be coupons. You used to cut them out. I remember supermarket, like Super Safeway, Pay Less. Anyways, I get the coupons, and then it says I get up and I go. I already left. I had 10 camels. Then what am the kol tov I'm taking, and then I'm going again? I'm coming up, going again? What did Eliezer do? It's brought down in the Midrash. He gets up, he has the money to do it. He's got the camels. When I was in Egypt, I think my parents were offered like 10 camels for me, actually also, or maybe horses, I don't know. It was a good price because they said because of my eyes. This is when I was 17. I wonder what I'd be worth now. I had such adventures growing up in my life. Okay, fast forward, the camels. He comes back, basically is what happens to the Midrash. And he's like, I can't do this actually. I can't do this mission. So then Avram says, take me. Like, I'm giving you koach, all the good I have. Now go. And he comes up and he goes. What's the mashal? Avram Avinu is HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We are Eliezer. There's so many times in your life, Hashem, I can't do this. I'm trying to see the good. I'm really trying to work on my emunah. I'm really trying. Like, I'm trying to daven. I'm trying to say a bracha. I'm trying to be calm. I'm trying to be patient. I'm trying to be compassionate. I know I need to do it. I went to the class. I heard it. And then you try, and you're like, I can't do it. Go back to Hashem. We forgot something. Avram, give me your koach. You're right, you can't do it without him. Hashem, can you please help me? Like, I tried. I have the tools. I'm trying to stay calm. But now I need to actually, even beforehand, go to Hashem and say, Hashem, I need your help in being able to use the tools to stay calm. We forget the whole process here. There's no way that I can be maintaining goodness in my life and connection to HaKadosh Baruch Hu unless I actually I have to first ask Hashem to help me connect to him in order to maintain the connection. It's like such a crazy thing. And also, anytime that I'm thinking, how in the world is this going to happen? You're right. It won't happen. Go to Hashem and ask him to make him happen. He's a kol. There's no other way, and anything in life will happen. And if it does, I don't know how it happened, except for Hashem. So then Eliezer goes, and then this is really crazy. He was mamish cursed. He's being cursed. He bows his head to who? To Avram, kilu to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He takes the cloth from Hashem, from Avram. He davens and he says, Hashem, give me Tzitiyat Shemaya on this mission that I'm about to have. Before he finishes his sentence, there's Rivka. And then fast forward comes Lavan, the brother of Rivka, Vayomer Bo Baruch Hashem. All of a sudden, Eliezer becomes blessed. Wasn't he the guy who's cursed? How did he become this person who's blessed? And then why did he go straight to Gan Eden, right? And we have so much conversation about Eliezer, more than any other person. I think like it's amazing how much we have about him in the Torah that he's speaking. Is because he was able to bow his head to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's like, it's such a simple and such a difficult thing. Again, going back to how do I think that anything is good? Where does that acceptance come from? It's looking back and saying to myself, you know what, Ribbon Shalom, it's from you. Like, and I accept it. I accept the curse of it. You know, I accept the difficulty of it. I accept the pain of it. I accept that I'm feeling pain in this right now of it. It's not fighting it. It's not also like brushing it over and pretending I don't feel this way. It's accepting that you're giving me this pain. It's coming from you. And I'm going to get where my strength to overcome it from you also. Rabbi Shimshon Pinko says, you like, Hashem pushes you away, you run away from him, to him. That's how we acquire Emunah. You're actually running away from him, to him, the very thing that he gave you. That's so you're running away from this test. So he's blessed. And Eliezer is like, I'm like, whoa, this guy, I'm telling you, it's so much to teach me, because how much do I fight things and I fight things and I fight things, and the more I incline to it, I give over to Hashem to it, and I realize also my tefillah, I say, Hashem koneh et hakol. He acquires everything. He is the acquisitioner, I don't know if that's a word, of everything. I can tap into everything when I'm tapping into Kadosh Baruch Hu. I can tap into Ki'ilu, the good, and I can tap into Ki'ilu, the bad, whatever you want to call it, if it's good, if it's bad, if it's unstable, it's connection, and it's all about bringing it into what? The balance of tapping into Hashem. And then finally, what do we get? We get to the Parsha at the end, which I think is very special to us as women, where, first of all, the attribute that it's looked for, you know, and to carry on the Jewish people, the mother of the Jewish people, the wife of is chesed, right? And like, don't take for granted the chesed that you do. The small thing, it's not such a small thing to feed a camel, but it kind of is. I'm saying, she didn't save someone's life. She gave some camel some water. It's so highlighted in the Torah. Do you know what I'm saying? You underestimate the small things of giving us a cup. I was giving someone yesterday. I was almost ending a work meeting, and my kids I didn't have time to make lunch. So I was like, cornflakes and milk on the table. You know, I was like, today's a cornflake and milk on the table, and that was chesed. Don't underestimate cornflakes and milk is on the table. If I'm doing it this way, this is all I can. Hashem then makes the cornflakes come up for you. You wouldn't be surprised that they appear on the table, right? And then what happens? This woman of chesed, she comes in to the tent of her mother-in-law. And we know that there are these 3 mitzvot that are connected to the woman, the Jewish woman. And I want to tell you what I think is so powerful about the Jewish woman and about Sarah Imenu, who was able to have these 2 lives, to be able to look at everything and be able to understand that when I put Hashem in front of everything that I'm doing, it's going to be good. So there's 3 mitzvot. There's challah, right? The dough, which was fresh from week to week, right? This yummy challah. There was the nail of Shabbat. There was the candle, the light. And there's the anei, these clouds, which is in reference to ta'ala, to clarity, actually, to connection. So what are these 3 things that's representative of the Jewish woman, what we embody and what we can bring into our home? Challah is the body. It's the physical. Connect your physicality to Kadosh Baruch Hu. You can't imagine. Again, you can't imagine what those cornflakes and milk look like when it's connected to Hashem, that you have the koach to do. You're making the challah, you're feeding somebody, you're feeding yourself. You're on your own. You're not even with anybody. You're connecting your physicality. The pain that you feel in your back is connected to Kadosh Baruch Hu because you're doing a chesed, like whatever the reason that the pain is. Therefore, you just connected the pain to the most incredible thing. It elevated up to Shemayim, right? We connect physicality to Hashem. Number 2, the now. Spirituality has to actually be connected to Hashem. Sometimes people forget that. Like, they feel spiritual, but it has nothing to do with Hashem. But we can what is bringing Hashem into it with spirituality is bringing the light of the Kadosh Baruch Hu into our house, right? It's like mamash, it says to us that the neshama is compared to a candle. It's light, it's pure light, it's illumination, it's clarity. That's spirituality. Spirituality is mamash, that you have clarity, that you're seeing a Kadosh Baruch Hu and you're feeling it. We bring that into our home. And then what's this concept of the ananim, of ta'ala, of mikvah, of relationships? That's actually your mind and your thoughts. You can't connect to somebody if you don't connect to them in your mind. You can't have a relationship with anybody. So how are we bringing Hashem into our thoughts, into our minds, into our connections, into our relationships? Not just between Tara of Kedusha and the whole family. I'm not just talking, or in yourself, in your whatever situation you're in. I'm not just talking about, right? The woman has the koach to bring a Kadosh Baruch Hu into all areas of life, into the mind, into the body, and into the neshama, believe it or not. Like, and we have this, then, what does it say? Yitzhak knows. He takes her as a wife, right? He knows her, and then he loves her because he sees this oneness of her, that the word ahava is the same gematria as achad. He sees that she's connecting everything to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's the source to the oneness. So B'ezrat Hashem, just like last week, I was asking you to go above the stars and just answer amen to everything, right? And connecting to that. I'm going to ask you this week's like avoda is the shiviti. Is like Hashem, the shvot is the Hashem, shiviti Hashem. Can I put Rahmanis in front of myself in everything? Can I see every situation that's a challenge for me, a test for me, that's difficult for me, that's coming from a place of Rahmanis? And can I also have Rahmanis in putting it in my life and myself and in front of the people that I'm interacting around me? Can I make it in that way good? Right? And can I also, when I'm feeling depleted, that I have no koach, can I realize, you're right, you don't. Get it from Hashem, because Hashem is a kol. And that's the biggest bracha that we could possibly have in our lives, is to feel connected to Hashem. So go for a walk. Remember they're teenagers, or they're toddlers, or that you don't have, or that your situation is your situation. I'm just saying that because that's just right now in my life. But many other instances in my life as I've been with people, that you're just like, got to do the walk and the talk